Why does it always fucking do that? Alright, we are live, ladies and germs. And tonight, or here today, finally doing the Federated Auto Parts 400. Just haven't really been much of a mood to do it. I know I got the Formula 1 race to do as well, but that'll probably come tomorrow or something like that. And I've also got Bristol, which I'll be watching later on tonight. So let's go ahead and get this over with. This is the fuel. What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the Packer Man, and welcome to today's edition of The Fuel, where today I am going to be talking about the 2021 Federated Auto Parts 400 from the Richmond International Raceway. It's our 112th episode of The Fuel. Title of today's episode, T-Rex is back! Because Truex ended up winning this race and breaking a bit of a winless drought for his 4th win of the season. I'm going to save all of the relevant news stories for the Bristol review, because there's going to be a lot to discuss there, especially with the dropping of the schedule and all that good stuff of the 2022 schedule, I should say. And there's a lot to talk about from that, so I'm going to save all the relevant news stories for the Bristol review. So let's just go ahead, get into this review, and get it done and over with. So this race, 400 laps, stages broke down like this: 80 laps for stage 1, 155 laps for stage 2, and 165 laps for stage 3. Kyle Larson and Cole Custer had to start from the rear of the field due to inspection failures. So, stage 1 was 80 laps. Hamlin starts from the pole. Truex was judged to have jumped the start and has to pit for a penalty. Apparently it doesn't matter if the leader spins his tires or not. You can't beat the leader to the line. I think that's a wishy-washy call. First caution was on lap 31 for a competition caution. Everyone comes in for service. Kurt Busch wins the race off pit road, and Kyle Busch was penalized for equipment interference. Will not be the last time he's penalized in this race. Kurt Busch leads on the restart. Hamlin takes the lead back on the restart. Logano gets by Kurt Busch for second. Then we have our second caution on lap 42 when Kurt Busch loses the left rear tire and crashes into the turn 1 wall hard. And I did note during the caution period, after they came out of the pit, that it looked like the tire looked really low. I didn't know if it was low air pressure or if there was contact. It didn't look like there was any contact, but the tire looked really low, and it looked like the lettering had been rubbed off. So I don't know if he was back and forth pacing and he was and the tire was trying to roll itself off the rim. But according to Goodyear, that did say that it did suffer a puncture, so maybe some debris. After he came back out on the racetrack, he ran over. But it's a tough break because of course he's one of the playoff drivers, so he's going to be on the precipice heading into Bristol tonight. Hamlin leads on the restarts. Kyle Larson was already up into the top 10 after starting last. Pretty impressive considering that he says that this is one of his worst tracks. And Truex has made it up to 12th after his start penalty. Elliott moves up to third and Larson up to fifth. Larson gets by Blenny for fourth. Battle for second between Elliott and Logano. And Hamlin wins stage number 1. Pretty ho-hum stage. Everyone comes in for service and Hamlin wins the race off pit road. Stage 2 was 155 laps. So Hamlin leads to start stage 2. Elliott tries to challenge Hamlin for the lead and takes it for a first pure lead change on lap 91. Chastain tries to go 3 wide with Larson and Truex and pulls it off. Chastain is something else, man. He's exciting to watch. Kez gets by Logano for third. Chastain gets by Logano for fourth and then by Keselowski for third. Chastain actually had a pretty good car in this race. Battle for fifth between Logano, Larson, Kyle Busch, and Truex, and they eventually catch Keselowski, turning it into basically a 5-car battle for fourth place, which was pretty interesting. Green flag pit stops begin on lap 132. Elliott pits in the lead the next time around. McDowell gets caught speeding on pit road. And tires were a pretty big deal here. New tires were about 2 to 3 seconds faster than 50 some odd lap tires. So instead of, pit stops in the past where they would try to go the whole fuel load, they would be making pit stops at around 50 laps to get tires. Because they were that important. Green flag pit stops begin on lap 132, like I said. Hamlin and Elliott battle for position during the pit stop cycle, and Hamlin cycles back with the race lead. Battle for third between Chastain, Logano, and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch gets by Chastain for third, and then Logano gets by Chastain for fourth. Elliott tries challenging Hamlin for the race lead, and he takes it once again for a second pure lead change on lap 162. Then we have green flag pit stops beginning on lap 183. Elliott goes long in his pit box, which costs him a lot of time. Actually cost him a lap. Hamlin cycles back with the race lead and keeps till the end and wins stage number 2. So stage 3, 165 laps. Hamlin leads to start stage 3. We immediately get our third caution on lap 249 when Bubba Wallace goes into the turn 1 wall. But he was able to keep going. Hamlin leads on the restarts, and we are clean and green the rest of the way. Bell and Kyle Busch make contact in turn 3, but they both keep going. JGR cars 1 through 4 at this point in time. Truex challenges Hamlin for the lead and takes it for a third pure lead change on lap 269. Kyle Busch gets by Christopher Bell for third. Chastain by Larson for fifth. Green flag pit stops begin on lap 297. Chastain cycles back with the race lead after pitting early for tires, but it would eventually cost him because the newer tires were obviously much better. McDowell was caught speeding not once but twice in a row on this stint. Ouch. Kyle Busch eventually catches up with Chastain and passes him for the race lead for a fourth pure lead change on lap 306. Truex gets by Chastain for second and then Hamlin for third as Chastain begins to struggle on 4 lap older tires. That's how old those tires were. Not that long, yet the newer tires were obviously better and faster. Bell gets by Elliott for fourth. Then the final round of green flag pit stops begins on lap 343. Kyle Busch comes in next time around, but is caught speeding on pit road, and that would end his chances at victory. But there were only like 9 cars on the lead lap at the end of this race, which is just crazy to think about. Truex cycles back with the lead, but Hamlin is 8.4 seconds back with 50 laps to go. But Hamlin has slightly newer tires than Truex, so Hamlin slowly but surely begins to reel Truex in. Elliott gets by Chastain for fourth. Hamlin was now 6.7 seconds back with 40 laps to go. Then he was 5.7 back with 30 to go. At this point, it's like, well, it looks like GG Truex unless something happens. But now he has a 3.7 second lead with 10 laps to go. Chastain nudged Larson in turn 4 accidentally while racing for 6th. So when Larson got back to him, Chastain was like, yeah, go ahead and take it. That was my bad. And Hamlin just continued to close and close and close on Truex, but Truex was able to hold Hamlin off by 1.5 seconds to win at Richmond. Yep, Hamlin made up almost 7 seconds in 50 laps. That's pretty damn impressive, but it just wasn't quite enough to get back to Truex. And because Larson scored stage points in this race, he is now officially through to the round of 12 on points. He was actually confirmed after stage 1 to have made it to the round of 12. That just goes to show you how big of an advantage those extra playoff points were for winning the regular season title. So as a result, Hamlin, Larson, and Truex are all through to the round of 12, which means that there are 9 spots available for the remaining 13 drivers. There we go. There are 9 spots available for 13 drivers. I'm a little bit tired, so my brain's not quite working as well as it should be. But here's some statistics from the race. We actually had 21 overall lead changes in this race, although most of them was due to green flag pit stops. We had 4 pure lead changes overall, which to this race's credit was more than Darlington. And fewer cautions as well. 3 cautions. We had 2,768 green flag passes in total, which comes out to 7.5 per lap on average, which is actually worse than Darlington, believe it or not. But Richmond has more laps than Darlington does. Not by much, but it does. So, race results. Truex, of course, with the win. Denny Hamlin coming home in second. Christopher Bell in third. So, it's a JGR 1-2-3 at Richmond. Chase Elliott comes home in fourth. Joey Logano in fifth. Kyle Larson in sixth. Not bad, considering that this was his admittedly one of his worst tracks. And he comes home with a top 10, so he's looking pretty good through the rest of the playoff. Ross Chastain, the only non-playoff driver in the top 10, finishing in 7th. And you have Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, despite his pit road penalty, still comes home with a top 10. And I think Ryan Blaney was 1 lap down, coming home in the 10th position. So point standings heading into the elimination race at Bristol tonight. Hamlin, Martin Truex, and Larson all advance. Hamlin and Truex due to wins. Larson on points. Okay, because he can't be overhauled on points. Logano is 4th. Ryan Blaney 5th. Kevin Harvick 6th. They're kind of safe right now. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, and Kurt Busch. They're all in the good right now. Although Kurt Busch is tied with Alex Bowman on points, so that could be a bit of a nail biter there for him. And then you got the guys below the cut line, which is Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, and Michael McDowell. Bowman, Reddick, and Byron still have a chance to get in on points, although that's more leaning towards Bowman and Reddick's favor. Byron, he would have to really do good and get some major stage points. McDowell, I mean, it's pretty clear cut that he's probably going to have to win the race at Bristol to advance, which I don't think is going to happen, like, at all. So that's what the point standings looks like heading into Bristol tonight. As for my final rating for the Federated Auto Parts 400, it was a pretty meh race. I mean, it had some interesting moments, but I think this one kind of falls somewhere in the middle. So I'll give this one a 5 on the fuel gauge. You know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. It was just a race. I mean, it was okay, I guess, by Richmond standards, but I mean, it's not a race that I'm going to remember 10 years down the line. You know, it is what it is. But that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. Pretty short and sweet. Next review I do will probably be the Formula 1 race from the Italian Grand Prix. Man, for that race... And there's some craziness that happened in that race, apparently. It seems like every time I miss watching one of the Formula 1 races live, something crazy happens. It happened the last time when I didn't get to watch the British Grand Prix because I wasn't feeling well, and crazy shit happened on that one too. So look forward to that. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the Packer Man signing out. See you later.
Thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to like and subscribe, you rats!